Hello friends and welcome to another video from my series Quick Thoughts On, in which I talk about different stories from the Star Trek universe. It's Monday again, which means it's time for another video from the new series Star Trek Discovery, which premieres always on Sunday in the USA, on CBS All Access, and on Monday on Netflix on the rest of the world. Every single week when I start watching the new episode, I always think, well, at least it can't be dumber, but I pretty often get surprised. This episode, which I've just seen, is probably the dumbest episode of the whole series. And I'm not saying it's bad, not at all. I actually think that this episode is so dumb that it's actually really funny. You can clearly see that there is absolutely nobody from the producers and writers who gives a fuck. The level of stupidity in this script is quite shocking. During the talking scenes, I thought that this episode was written by a woman who was a hippie in her teenage years and probably took a lot of drugs. After it ended, I checked Wikipedia and I was partially right. It was written by Lisa Randolph, so she clearly is a woman, but she is too young to be a hippie and I can't find any information about her drug usage. So, stupidity number one. They brought an evil empress on board. They know she's evil and she's a killer, so what do? They give her her own quarters, treat her like a guest, and even go ask her for advice. I honestly thought that this is the dumbest thing they could do, but no. In the end, they pretend she's Captain Georgiou and give her the command of the Discovery. Oh, I'm pretty sure nothing can go wrong. Stupidity number two. They have a Klingon spy on board. They don't know what exactly happened to him or if he can be kept under control, but they know that he murdered the doctor and tried to murder Burnham. So what do? They let him run free on the ship. Oh, I'm pretty sure nothing can go wrong. Stupidity number three. He goes to eat to the dining room or whatever the place is called on this show, and everybody's like, oh, that's the doctor killer. And Tyler actually behaves reasonably. He understands their behavior and takes it as a man. Good, I might actually start liking him again. So what does Tilly do? She goes to sit to his table. Okay, that's actually in character for her. I was perfectly fine with her giving him a second chance and being friendly with him. That made sense in the context of the show and her previously established character. So what do the others do? They all go and sit with him. Well, fuck that doctor. We never liked him anyway. God, you get rid of him, right? Now, the female admiral gets the information that Lorca is dead. For a few seconds it looks like she might show some emotions for him. She clearly loved him, but no, fuck that guy. She's a strong female character, she can't get emotional for a man. Only men can get emotional for women. If the men are strong, they are clearly evil. That's how we know that Lorca was evil, he never cried. And that's how we know that Tyler is good, because he cries in every single scene. You know, I liked him much more when he was a badass Klingon assassin, not now when he's a pathetic crybaby. The speeches. Oh my god, the speeches. After I heard the first speech, I knew this episode was written by a hippie. Michael doesn't want to talk to Tyler, which makes perfect sense. He tried to kill her a few episodes ago. She has the full right to be angry at him. It makes perfect sense. But Tilly tries to make her feel bad. How does she dare to not want to talk to him? He did nothing wrong and deserves a second chance. I laughed so hard I had to pause the video. Then she started to talk about how we shouldn't fight our enemies, but we should fight the darkness in ourselves or some similar bullshit, and I had to pause the video for the second time. Well, later in the episode, Burnham goes to Tyler and they have another brilliant speech. The only thing I remember from it was that Tyler was crying, Burnham was crying, and I was hysterically laughing. That scene didn't feel like it was written by a hippie woman. That scene felt like it was written by an alien who tried to desperately understand understand human emotions but failed. But there were some good things, some genuinely good things. The plot was actually well thought out. I was hoping that they will find a creative way how to not show the war, and jumping forward in time by 9 months is actually a very smart idea. And we have even seen some terraforming, which is great. I never imagined I would actually see some science on this science fiction show. Do you remember when Star Trek shows used to inspire people? Things like floppy disks or later flash disks, cell phones, medical scanners, tablets and similar stuff would never exist if young smart people didn't watch Star Trek and get inspired. I miss those days. Another good thing is that we again got to see the bridge crew doing something. I really hope that they get much more time in the second season. I mean, just look at them. The woman with the thing on her head or the one which looks like a robot. I honestly want to know something about them. Anything. They really look more interesting than our main cast. But no, we don't have time for science. We must win the war. And the episode ends with a plan which might actually end the war, and because the next episode is the last one, they have a lot of things to do. They have to come up with things which will explain why the Klingons look different, why nobody ever heard about the war before, why do the Vulcans, Andorians and Tellarites look different, why do they have technology which will be replaced a few years later with technology which is outdated by even today's standards, why the spore drive will be never used in the future again, and many other things. They promised that everything will make sense, so I'm really wondering how many things will they actually explain, and how many things will they solve with, you don't like our changes? That means you're a sexist, racist, homophobic bigot. I can't really be mad at this episode because it made me laugh. And I was actually surprised that this episode shared many problems with Star Wars The Last Jedi. It also had a stupid hippie attitude to war. I have given up a long time ago on the idea that I will fall in love with this series. Now I'm just waiting till it's finally over because it starts to feel like homework. And a personal message to all of the people who like this show and insult people who don't like it. If you like this series, great. I actually do feel happy for you. You are able to see something good in it, and I envy you. And I respect everybody who defends this show in a civilized way. Different people have different opinions, and that's absolutely normal. Even I have said that I have no problem respecting this show as a generic sci-fi show, but not as a Star Trek show. But if you belong to people who label everybody who doesn't like it as sexist or racist or homophobic or I don't know, something similar, let me tell you one thing from my perspective. The Orville. The Orville is a far better Star Trek series than Discovery. The crew of the starship Orville has white people, black people, men, women, straight couples, gay couples, and I absolutely love everybody of them, because every single character is interesting, every single character is fully developed and very, very likable, so you know what. Final thoughts, it's hard to rate this one. It made me laugh, but that wasn't its intention. I hated the dialogue, but I liked the plot. So after a quick thinking about it, on my scale between 0 and 10, where 0 is complete garbage, 10 is a masterpiece, and 5 is average, I think it's fair for me to give this episode 5 out of 10. But as always, those were just my opinions. Feel free to write down your opinions down in the comment section, and the next video will be uploaded probably tomorrow, and it will be a video about the next episode from classic Star Trek called A Private Little War. Thank you very much for watching, and see you very soon. Bye.